Hello to my Aquarius. This is Queen Amun Ra coming to you with your general reading. Aquarius, the moon has moved into your sign. We're still officially in a full moon phase. This reading is for the 12th of July through the 18th of July. And like I said, the moon is in your zodiac sign. For those of you all who follow the moon phases, it's a good idea to follow the moon phases to make sure you're landing on the right side of your emotions, your feelings, your mood, your subconscious habits. It's also a good idea to pull your birth chart. This is a general reading. Take only what resonates with you. If you're interested in a personal reading, my information is on my website, queenamunra.com. Let's get right on into it, Aquarius. Hopefully you all have closed out that 7/7 portal. I did put some information on my community page of a 3-card spread there. So yes, let us get into it, Aquarius. Sending lots of love and light to each and every one of you, and you. Hopefully you all reach out and grab it. Let's get into it. You all rule 11th house. 11th house is all about friendship and community. So if you feel good about closing out cycles, at least stepping through that portal, which is an energetic window that opened on the 4th of July and it stayed open until the 7th of July. And Source has made some things clear to you. You know, the power of the number 7. You've had some awakenings about what generational cycle chain and curse that you are assigned to break so that you're not carrying other people's emotional baggage on your back. Source is saying, just keep yourself in prayer. Keep yourself in prayer and meditation. You're going to get through all of that where you don't feel like you're obligated to carry other people's burdens. Eagles fly above crows. All right. Yeah. It's not your responsibility to carry other people's. The Source has assigned other people to break generational cycle chains and curses. That's going to be their journey. Remember, Pluto is in Aquarius, is retrograde in Aquarius, and Neptune is currently retrograde in Aries, and we are in Mercury retrograde, which it'll be retrograde in Leo coming up soon. So there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. And so you wanna make sure you're getting your downloads, your messages, so that you'll know exactly like, hey, listen, you don't want the generation behind you to have to pick up that burden of breaking a generational cycle chain and curse. You want to be the cycle breaker, the chain breaker, the curse breaker for whatever assignment Source gives you. Yep. And so people are learning just through the fact that Pluto is in Aquarius that doing things in a very unique way is going to seem rebellious to everybody connected to them. But that's just your normal story. Everything that you all do, people think you're being rebellious, Aquarius. So now people are really getting a taste and feel for what it feels like when they're given an assignment and they're marching to the beat of their own drum. And people are going out of their way to make them look like a fool, right? Uranus is a fool card. So Source is saying that's regular. That's a regular day for an Aquarius. So yeah. So it's saying get fixated on saying, hey, listen, you're breaking generational cycle chains and curse. You step through that energetic portal. You're not carrying other people's emotional weights on your back. You're flying high above all of that. Let's get into it. Already prayed over your cards. Let's go. 6 of Cups. Yep. So the 6 of Cups speaks to nostalgia. It speaks to, memories. So what you're taking with you are good, positive, high vibrating memories with you. When you're leaving energies behind, you're taking the good memories with you. You're not in competition with anybody. You're saying, hey, you have your own assignment that Source is given to you to break some kind of generational cycle chains and curses. You are fully aware of some things that were done behind your back, fully aware of some things. But Source is saying to you, the baton has been passed to you from an ancestor, right? You are humanitarians. You are, and you're staying focused, right, in your 11th house, right? So 11th house is where we find our place within a wider group through friendships, social networks of all kinds. means your planets here suggest unique role that you play as a member of your team. So you definitely want to find out what your zodiac sign is in your 11th house. That's something you want to water. That's something you really, really want to water. So for instance, for example, let's say for instance, your sun sign is an Aquarius, but your 11th house zodiac sign, since Aquarius rules 11th house, right? Doesn't necessarily mean your sun sign in your 11th house is going to be an Aquarius, right? But let's say it is Aries, right? So if your 11th house is in Aries, then you may lean towards independent action when it comes to groups and friends. You can be social pioneer, lead the group, or feel energized by a hectic social life. Or let's say, for instance, your 11th house is in Pisces. That could mean that you may deal sensitivity in a very sensitive and a sympathetic way with friends. Being in a community can evoke a capacity in you for altruistic service. Or let's say, for example, your 11th house is in Taurus. You tend to look for loyalty from friends and you return it in good measure. Your approach to friendship will emphasize constancy and longevity. Or let's say it's in Aquarius. Let's say your sun sign is Aquarius and your 11th house is in Aquarius. You might take a sort of a stance believing that it's important that each person in the team is treated equally and any benefits distributed are for the good of all, right? So it's really about 11th house is all about teamwork. So as you step through that portal, you're saying it's not your duty and responsibility to carry other people's weight on your shoulders. Um, you know, you have your own things that you've had to carry the weight on your own weight, your own emotional weight. Source is saying, like I said, the baton has been passed, right? You're not going backwards. Here's a 9 of Wands here. Yeah, you're not going backwards. Yeah, that lets me know that as you talking about ninth house here, you've already done when we talk about going from sixth house, that's 6 of Cups here. That sixth house is all about health and well-being, daily work, health, routines and rituals, service. Somebody has already done that work. You've already done the work on yourself, right? And so when that baton has been passed, source is saying you're not going back. You're in ninth house, right? And you're not going back and you're moving towards ninth house is about quest and adventure, right? So this person right here is saying it's for you to go backwards. So something would be confusing for you when you've already done the energy work. You've already done the energy work, right? So ninth house is about quest and adventure. So find out what your zodiac sign is in your sixth house. Find out what your sign is in because you're also watering your sixth house, right? You're watering your sixth house. And watering, what I mean by watering by that is finding out what your moon sign is. You're pouring into your sixth house, right? That's what you're pouring into. And so that's your health and well-being, right? Right. So yeah, so when you as an Aquarius, if you feel like okay, you've already been in a situation where um you may have felt like you were carrying other people's energy, maybe in your belly, like, maybe like stressed, maybe you had a stress belly. You were carrying other people's energy in your belly. And once you could have been a little nervous about saying, okay, I need to release this weight, right? I need to release this weight. And some fear for you may have been like, okay, maybe you feel like you were going to fire from a job, right? Because you were going on vacation, you were traveling or something like that. Maybe you felt some kind of way about something, right? And you feel like, okay, because I'm talking about this fire here. You don't feel that way anymore. You're not going back to feeling that way anymore. You may could have had anxiety, like just balled up in your stomach. No, your ancestors are like, no, here, we pass you the baton. We pass you the baton. So you're free. Here's the Fool card, right? This is Uranus, right? This is an outer planet, right? So we're talking about you've already stepped through that portal. You release something. Yeah, you release something. So you're leaving behind feeling like it is your burden to carry other people's emotional baggage on you, whether it's in your stomach area or on your back. You're not going back to that. That's called somebody an enormous amount of anxiety, right? So here's the Seven of Cups here. Yeah. So something new is being created here. You're creating something new. Here we have the Ace of Cups here, right? So you're creating something new for your fourth house, right? As far as fourth house goes, fourth house is in terms of home and family. This describes your home and your place of safety and retreat, both literally and metaphorically. It's a crucible of family and the container of lineage and ancestry, contributing to your sense of heritage. You're creating something new for your eighth house. That's intimacy and shared possessions, right? So that would be your eighth house is where you encounter many of the darker aspects of life. Here you can experience loss or emotional crisis, but also a deep transformation. So the eighth house covers intimacies, um, um, of relationships and complexities of shared finances, and also your 12th house, right? So 12th house is about service and sacrifice, right? So when you say you're creating something new, because this Six of Cups speaks to Scorpio, something you've broken some kind of a chain. You've already broken some kind of a generational cycle, chain, and curse. So just by not being an enabler, okay, you've broken some kind of a generational cycle, chain, and curse. You're not flying. You're not trying to fly above anything, carrying everybody else's emotional baggage on your back, whoever it is. And I can't say whoever because this is a general reading, right? So you're creating. This is something brand new. You've broken some kind of a generational cycle, chain, and curse. Again, the Moon in Neptune is in Aries. This is where you pray for people's um, emotional health, right? Mental and emotional health. But you're not going backwards. You're not going backwards. Remember, ninth house is all about quest and adventure, right? And that's all about teaching, higher learning, adventure, travel, long journeys, philosophy, religion, and belief, quest for meaning. Yeah. It be if it's children, like little children, under 18, or like take everything case by case basis. Y'all get the point. Like you're not just cutting people off, just like coming through with a big old sword, just cutting people off. Y'all know what I'm saying. Like you're sensitive to things, but something was done behind your back, you know, in court. Something was done behind your back to really challenge your mental health in court, to really make you look like you were a fool. So yes, this is worthy of you cutting some energies off and not looking back. Some of the energies did some things in secret, right? Yeah. Here's a Ten of Wands here. On your way to your north node, to stop you from going to your north node. They created something, you know, for you and a loved one. And so source is saying to you or a loved one, um, in a unsafe environment. There could have been drinking, there could have been other substances, other spirits involved, wine and spirits involved. But they created something, for to damage someone's mental health, behind your back. On their way to North Node. So source is saying there's no reason for you to ever go back to anybody who would do that to you or to do that to your kids or do that to I can't necessarily say a spouse, but if it's your kids, right, do it to your kid or somebody that you're taking care of, somebody that you could be responsible for. There's no reason for that, just to distract you from trying to, for your star. Yeah, hit your star here, trying to make you look like a fool, trying to make it look like it's your responsibility. Like, okay, they created this, and it's your responsibility to fix something, just to somehow stay connected to you in some way, shape, form, or fashion. Mm-mm. Nope. Like it's your responsibility. Somebody was bullied on their way to their north node. You may have had to move around a lot because we're talking about you see this bull here, like physically moving things. So these some energies. Some energies created this, and somehow want you to carry the burden of something. Mm-mm. Somebody could be a fire sign, or could have a could be a water sign, Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio, or somebody could be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. But somebody created all of this, right? And it takes a village, right? So if anybody is just like dumping everything on you and saying it's your responsibility, whether you're the mom or dad or cousin or sibling or whomever, everybody has their own generational cycle chain and curse to break. Something happened during a solar return to someone that you love between the ages of 15 to 21 years old. And so in a solar return, something could have happened to them then. It could have been something that was ongoing from a childhood. Something just kept happening. Like every time somebody could have moved, something just kept happening to damage people's, possibly their mental health. And so, source is saying for you, if you just had a solar return, whatever, within the last maybe 5, 10 years or something like that, that's like a major move, a marriage, a divorce, maybe you got a brand new job or whatever it is, major life changes. Like I said, these energies did something behind your back in court to try to make you responsible for something, make you responsible for someone's mental health as to why they would do something, like why they would be responsible for doing something behind your back. So, something is over. Yeah, something is completely over. Very unhealthy, very wounding. And so when we talk about the Seven of Cups, that speaks to Scorpio energy in the minor arcana and also speaks to Scorpio energy in the major arcana here. That is a rebirth both happening now and just kind of overall. Somebody had to keep going through these death rebirths, like stop these endings and beginnings and these endings and beginnings and these endings and beginnings. And when you're asking for help, this right here, that again, it takes a village. So source is saying if you're a single parent, you didn't make a baby by yourself, whether you're dad or mom, right? You came from somewhere. You didn't fall off the back of a turnip truck. So if there's a problem now, and whether you're a dad or a mom and somebody's trying to dump all the issues on you, I mean, if it was something that was, praiseworthy, oh my God, this person's getting awards, they're the first this in the family, something where people can look at and go, but they want something to mirror you. This is water energy. Some energies want something to mirror you, like you just walking death. But see, the thing about you, Aquarius, is that you all are innovative. You all have done the work. You all have done the work. So these energies trying to pile something on you, something has already come to an end. Something has already come to an end. These energies trying to pile something on you. There are other energies, like I said, legally, and these energies keep trying something. And I say legally because we talk about seventh house, right? So 6 and 1 would be 7. Seventh house speaks to relationships. So in terms of your relationships, this is what I'm picking up for you all. So obviously there's somebody's child involved. So let's say, for instance, you were married 3, 4, 5 times, whatever. The very people that are accusing you and your family, whether it's the other side of the family or your family, this is like the pot calling the kettle black. The same thing is being mirrored, except they're projecting something onto you. So let's say, for instance, um, I saw a lady, I saw this woman on, I want to say it was Instagram, and she had, um, I want to say like 5 kids by 5 different fathers or something like that. And people were judging her, or she may have had more by more men or something like that, but people were judging her. So let's say that's your situation. And obviously, y'all know on my channel, there's no judgment whatsoever because these people are obsessed with you, following you around the world, seeing who you're with, seeing who's coming in and out of your house, all of this judgment here. But Source had to put a mirror back on these energies here. This is why you're not holding, you're flying above all of this. So, like I said, I saw this post with this young lady put on Instagram, and there were some people who were applauding her and saying that she's not ashamed or embarrassed because she wasn't ashamed or embarrassed of her kids. She was talking about kids are a blessing. Some of the fathers were around helping, some of them were not, whatever your situation is, the very ones that are hammering you, whether you're a dad, you got 10 kids by 10 different mothers, or a mother who has been married multiple times, somebody had to go back through the family stuff. This is somebody's in-laws and on your family who's accusing you of doing the very same thing that they've done. People in glass houses should not throw stones. Judge, yeah, they are judging you, but now they're under judgment, right? Trying to make you responsible for something that they played a huge role in creating behind your back. Why? Because they're so busy trying to bully you out of your home because you didn't come back to something. It's like you left the house. This is somebody's ex. You left the house and you didn't come back. You created a life for yourself and you weren't coming back. So this is a type of a energy, but again, whether you're a man or woman, doesn't really matter, that if you leave and you don't come back, and if you go all the way back to the root of it, you're going to go back to the root of religion for some of these energies, right? A lot of people have had great relationships in church, mosque, and temple, right? In their childhood, right? Personally, I don't have any complaints about my childhood church at all, not one. But my heart goes out to people who have had issues, and people who have had legitimate issues in church, mosque, or temple growing up. I can't say that I'm one of them. I honestly can't. I can't say, a spiritual leader in my childhood did anything to me or mistreated me in some way, shape, form, or fashion at all, right? But a lot of that shapes of what you see now as an adult. And so these energies were doing things, whoever, and this is not just religion, these are family members, friends, all of this other stuff played some role. This village, religious village, school, blood relatives, all of this, right? Source is saying to you, these same energies are basically trying to dump something on you, whoever you are, following you all around the world, obsessed, cameras taking snaps and pictures, but won't help you out. And all people have to do is go back through. Some of y'all never got child support until maybe the child was older, where somebody maybe had to pay 1, 2 more years of child support. But whatever happened to all the other years that you needed help, you were asking for help. So somebody, see all these bowls right here? It's like somebody kept saying, drink, 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 drink. So somebody caused something where somebody just drink your problems away. And then saying that you caused some kind of issue. Yeah. All people would have to do for a lot of you all is take a blood test. That wouldn't fly for 5 seconds. All this stuff going on behind your back. I'm telling you all, Aquarius, y'all need to come through with the sword and cut people off permanently, forever. And I'm serious. That's what y'all need to do. You're not angry about it. No, nothing. You have forgiven people, but you need to start cutting people off. You need to dead the situation for real. It needs to be a wrap. Over, done with. I guarantee you, if your in-laws are accusing you of doing something, you don't have to shake that tree too hard to find out that they're accusing you of the very same things that they did before they even met you. If you were married several times, so were they. If you got kids here and there by different fathers or mothers, so do they. Right? You're not about just public image. Okay? You're about being a humanitarian. If your family members are accusing you, so are they. It's not your, I'm trying to help somebody. It's not your burden to carry everybody's baggage on your back. Because I guarantee you, if your kid, this right here, see this little boy right here, this man on the car, and really all this is genderless. All of this is genderless. This could be a woman and a little girl. Doesn't matter. But Source is trying to help somebody understand that, look, You don't have to walk around like you got the weight of the world on your shoulder. You don't have to be this person on your way to your purpose. You rule 11th house. So it's like when you go back to 10th house and you think about your vocation and you think about you think about, you know, your career and your vocation, in terms of like parents and authority, anybody who thinks that it's 100% of a responsibility of a mother to nurture kids when there's a father who's supposed to be in the house or some kind of somebody, that is ridiculous. Not in this day and time when women and men are getting up and going to work. That is absolutely ridiculous. There has to be some kind of balance. This is all because you left a house. This is right here. Six of Cups is the Scorpio. Scorpio is a death card. Something ended in the house. So somebody said, okay, if you leaving them, they gonna make sure they're gonna create something. They're gonna create something they're gonna create something in a person. They're gonna create death, walking death in a person, so that you know they walking around with a bunch of baggage on them. If that's not cruel, that's cruel punishment to somebody because you left a situation, then you weren't coming back. Here's Ace of Swords here. Yeah. Again, try to give somebody a complete and nervous breakdown, trying to give you and somebody else a complete and nervous breakdown legally. This is the 6 and 7 by saying that you're making disparaging comments about them. Good luck. Good luck. You not lying about something. You said when you left, you said you weren't coming back. If it's some six and ace and six and ace of cups is 7 of cups, 6 and ace of swords is 7. This is legal. Somebody saying you said something, you created something, right? So somebody wants to make you responsible for something, something ending, right? But when you left, all people need to do is pull, or for some of you all people need to do is go back and look through legal records. I'm serious. They need to go back and look through legal records because 6 of Cups means a death occurred, right? Not necessarily a physical death, just so we're crystal clear. So it's almost like when a person leaves, somebody says, I'm not giving you any support. None. No support whatsoever. I'm not giving you emotional support. I'm not talking to you. None of that. You're going to have to pay me. I'm going to make you responsible for everything. Since you, as the father or mother, left the situation, I'm going to make the child responsible for this, or children responsible for this, or whoever is left behind responsible for this. I'm going to make them feel like they're carrying the world on their shoulders. So they're walking around like the walking dead, right? So something has ended. Justice is in your favor. Something has ended. So these two energies did something behind your back, and with an organization, and you've been asking for help. This is the reason why this, like I said before, looking at your cards here, trying to stop you. This is somebody family doing something to create something to try to stop you after you've been asking for help. What kind of help? They in this right here lets me know that somebody was in survival mode. This right here. You kept going along with whoever's flow in the family until you couldn't take it no more. There it is. Whoever you are. Y'all know on my channel, I'm not about saying these energies are ruthless. They were absolutely ruthless. So whoever is representing you probably walked away just like they couldn't even believe what they was hearing. They were probably just dumbfounded. Like, I can't even believe what I'm freaking hearing here. This right here, these two right here are 9 of Wands. You and somebody don't ever have to go back. All people need to do, that's the thing about public records. People could go and look this stuff up. Here's the Ace of Pentacles. You got big money coming across your path. Some things are not even worth money. It really is not. The mental damage that somebody did to somebody, to you and somebody, it's not. That's what this is. Whenever you see Six of Cups here, something is nostalgic. Like you're taking good memories with you, right? You're taking good memories. That's the light side, but y'all know I read the cards upright and in reverse. But these energies, you were taking the good memories with you, right? You're saying, okay, when I leave home, I'm taking good memories with you. Meaning that when you step through that portal, like we just talking about 7-7 portal, you're taking good memories with you. You're not taking all that baggage, low vibrational, this and that, oh, these people are such and such. You're not taking all of that. These energies had to create something since they knew you weren't coming back, right? To try to stop you. So they defamed your character behind your back. What's right here? In court, to try to end you. I'm telling y'all, if this is somebody you have kids with, do not carry that burden, because if you were married a certain number of times, if you have a certain number of kids, they probably had to either marry the same amount of times or more, or had the same amount of kids or more. Even if they don't, they can't stand in judgment because they are not your God. Okay? You don't need them as a prayer. You don't need them to stay and hold their hands. You don't need to be in a relationship with them to pray. You are a prayer warrior. The polarity to this is Libra's card is Aries, right? Somebody thought that by yourself, your prayers would not work. But it did, because you're a prayer warrior. I don't know what these people thought, whoever they are, but you come from a long line of prayer warriors too. And your family, whoever your family is, if they knew all the hell that somebody went through, this is the Seven of Cups here, the Seven of Swords here, if they knew all the stuff that these people created behind your own family's back, that's what a lot of families don't get, is when somebody is saying something to you in your face, being disrespectful to you, they're talking to you, your mother, your father, your grandparents, and your ancestors. That's who they're talking to. So y'all think about that. Like, for real, think about that. If somebody's basically like, oh, you weren't raised right, or your that's who they're talking to. They're saying it to your face, but they're talking about your whole family, because it takes a village. They talk about every teacher that poured into you, your whole village, your friends, their families who poured into you. And some people don't think that far. All they think is, oh, they're not coming back. They don't see the positive they may have poured into your life. And just like, you know what, I'm not going to send them off with a curse. I'm just going to send them off with a blessing. I wish them the best, wherever they are in life. That's why I said, don't carry that extra baggage with you. Here's the Five of Pentacles here. These energies have been making somebody's kids feel worthless since the very beginning. They just cold-hearted, and cold-blooded. And the majority right here is fire. This is the reason why some people, I'm telling y'all, this is the reason why some people talk the way they do on social media about religion. And that's a shame that they do, because you really do have some good spiritual leaders out here really making a positive impact in people's lives and bringing out the best in people. But some of these people out here are ruining people's lives, all for show, because they wanted to a mirror to reflect something but if they're not helping people when they're asking people for help, whoever these energies are, they just creating worse problems. Here's the Four of Pentacles. So, yeah. Everything for show. But we don't want to, claim that's not a part of who we are. So it's like, listen, something is over. Something is already over. These energies to obsessively followed you all around the world to try to make you look like you was just the devil incarnate. when they wouldn't lift a finger to help you. Don't you dare look back. Take whatever good memories you had with whatever relationships that you formed with people who did pour into you the best way that they knew how to, whether they helped you move, whether they gave you some good advice, prayed with you, prayed over you, prayed for you. There are good people in this world that will help you, that have helped you. But the ones that sat there and did nothing but sit there and talk about you behind your back, take nothing, just keep it moving. Keep it moving. You're a prayer warrior. Like I said, this is the polarity to this. This is the polarity sign of this. People took one look at you and thought, oh, okay, that's light work. That's easy. That's easy. Every time you moved or, got married or had kids or whatever the case may be, every rebirth you went through, meaning like every major life change you went through, somebody saw you as a target. Please protect your energy. Somebody saw you as a target because they saw, okay, this person is in survival mode. Okay, I can take advantage of them and their kids. I can beat on them. I can abuse them in some way, shape, form, or fashion. I can threaten them. They're gonna come back, or if they don't come back, I'm gonna create something that's gonna follow them around the world. And then with technology, anything. So source is saying you will not be going back. Yeah. Master manipulator, but you've learned how to control and manipulate your own emotions. I'm talking to men and women Aquarius. You would never go back to an abuser. Never. That's why I know some people have had really good, healthy relationships in your religious, whatever, however you grew up in your religious upbringing or whatever, church, mosque, or temple. Some people have had really good, like healthy relationships where you hear these horror stories and stuff about what people went through in their church or upbringing. No matter what the public may say about your religious organization or group or whatever, a lot of people did not have, like horror stories. So trust me when I tell y'all, a lot of y'all are guardian angels when it comes to, I'm telling you, y'all got a guardian angel watching over y'all. You have a guardian angel watching over you, helping to, you have spirit guides watching over you and helping you to, like I said, moving along. And I'm telling y'all some good people out here that's been praying for you all, but it seemed like whoever y'all were in relationships with, they created stuff. They created stuff to cause. It's like they took an opportunity to create problems to make it look like they were saving somebody from something. Something happened between the ages of 15 to 21 years old. Somebody could have been in a relationship with a master manipulator. Or somebody was bullied. Somebody created something about you. Somebody's child could have been bullied, and somebody could have said a whole lot of things about you, calling you a garden tool. Y'all know what I'm saying? Like somebody did this to somebody's child, but then you were in a relationship with this person, right? I don't know if law enforcement or whatever was called, or somebody accused somebody of doing something, but this was somebody's ex. This was somebody's ex doing this. I mean, just sick. Sick, sick, sick. That's what y'all listen. This I said. This is on a who. This was a reading for another zodiac sign. Be careful of who you're getting into a relationship with, because sometimes you'll get into a relationship with people who are actually jealous of your own kids. And I'm talking to men and women, jealous of your kids, and will make your kids carry the weight of the world on their shoulders just by creating stuff. Who they know. Oh, well, I can just make one phone call. If I want them out of the house, I can just make one phone call. I can get them kicked out of the house. I can get them kicked out of school. I can get them kicked. All it is, anything to if they know somebody, just to mess up your life and mess up your kids' life. If you're a single parent, but they all working together. They're part of the same organization. Eight of Swords here. This is where you're breaking some kind of cycle, chain, and curse. Yeah, somebody somebody called the police on somebody's child when they were a teenager. This was somebody you were in a relationship with. So think back to whoever you were in a relationship with when your child was a teenager. Somebody called the police to have your child put in jail when they were a teenager. When you go back in your mind and you start thinking back as you're going through storms in your own life, it may have taken somebody a minute to be like, well, how in the world would, and with this smoke right here, smoke and mirrors, they created a lot of smoke and mirrors. Somebody wanted you to cut your own child off and say that they were a nightmare. You listen, y'all, when you're dealing with these types of energies here who are jealous of your kids and they want you to sacrifice your own kids to be in a relationship with them, I can't tell people what to do, but listen, y'all already know. We're not talking about somebody who's 30, 40, 50 years old, who they already out there living their life. We're talking about a teenager who is still trying to develop, trying to get their bearings. Where is the other parent? Where is the village that's trying to help you? No, when you left something, they decided they weren't going to help you in any way, shape, form, or fashion at all. So you leaving them behind. You're leaving them behind. They can't do a thing for you, nothing. You're not angry, you're just aware, right? So Page of Wands, that they get the message loud and clear. They get the message loud and clear that they know, you know what they did to your child when your child was a teenager. They were the ones that called the police. These energies, right? That's why all this fire here. They call the police. These energies call the police. They got somebody in their family to call the police so that you could cut your child off and say that your child was a nightmare. But that's not how it happened. That's how protected you and your child is. And now look, here's the tower moment right here. And because you're an air sign and you make the connections with things, you're gonna start going back in your mind and saying, wait a minute. Every time something, because we're talking about 6 right here, 6, 7, right? Every time you go back to 7, something legal happened, something illegal, or something happened with your child, or something happened with you, or something that's going to court. It's going to lead you right back to a religious organization, a particular religious organization. Whoever you had your child with is going to lead back to that religious organization, right? It doesn't have to be the same religious organization, right? That's why something is so traumatic for you, whoever you are, because you didn't have that same kind of chaos and confusion and survival mode in a religious organization. That's supposed to be a safe space for people and their families, not just for show. Here's a 9 of Pentacles. I'm looking at financial independence for you. These people you're having a total recall, but they also having a total recall too. They having a tower moment, but you leaving them in the past. And whoever believed them, let whoever believe whatever. 10 of Cups. Yeah. But something is over. And something is over. Here's a Knight of Wands here. Yep. Yeah, they can sit around a table and talk all day long and talk about whoever, whatever. You and whoever. If this is you and a child, or you and a sibling, or whoever, because some people don't have kids. But let's say, because a lot of siblings are like roommates, right? A lot of them it's roommates. So you could have grown, moved around a lot or whatever. But whoever you were in a relationship with is responsible for this. As soon as you left them, they started creating all kinds of problems. But this 10 of Swords, this 10 of Wands here lets me know that you were so weighed down, probably going to work, possibly going to school, trying to just, live a normal life. And these energies were steadily piling problems on top of you. Steadily piling problems on top of you. And if you had kids, they was causing problems for your kids. Seven of Swords here. All kinds of legal problems. You having to go back and forth to court for this and go back to court for that. Yeah. So Source is saying to you, you don't need to something is closed out. You don't need to go. Oh, I'm telling you, all it would take for some attorneys to go look through some records and be like, what the heck is this? What the heck is this? And tie it all back to all of these people are connected to the same something, same group. It doesn't even have to be the same church or mosque or temple, but the same, somehow they all connected. And not even just to you. That's the obsession. There it is. Y'all hear me shuffling the cards. That's the obsession. Obsessed. Obsessed. That's the right there. The Judgment card. The Pluto is an Aquarius. Obsessed with making you look like a complete fool. But guess what? Guess what? This card, Saturn, right here, rules Capricorn, which is a devil card. The purpose of the devil card is to shine the mirror back to other people's demons. First of all, you got to recognize yours, but the mirror goes back to other people's demons. Like you're showing people who they are. Like they can't. Yeah. Again, fly above this. I don't know who you are, but fly above it. These people that told so many lies on you, it's not even funny. But when that mirror turned back around on them, yeah. So step through your portal. I'm telling you, step through your portal unapologetically. The moon is still in full moon phase. It should affect your, on the 12th, it affects your calf, your ankle, your shin, your Achilles. On Sunday, the 13th, it'll still be in Aquarius, but then on the 14th and 15th, it'll be in Pisces. It affects your feet, your toes, and your pineal gland. Your third eye should be wide open at this point about who is behind. Every time you had some kind of legal issues with something, these energies, I'm telling y'all, some of y'all have been put in such situations. It's almost like they always wanted y'all in jail. Like they always, like as soon as you left there, and somebody felt like, okay, you left and you not coming back, somebody created all kinds of hostile situations for you and your kids. And so, okay, we're gonna end them one way or the other. Obsessed with ending them one way or the other. So they don't want to create something. We'll create a whole new life that mirrors the life that we want. Master manipulators. Master manipulators. You are extraordinary. There's a wild and impetuous uniqueness to you that deserves to be honored. There is no freaking way. There is no way. No way. I'm telling y'all. That's why when I see all of this stuff about societies and stuff online, I'm like, listen, people can join. Look, the whole country is a secret society for real. Like, you don't know everything about the country you live in. And that this is the World Wide Web. But my point to you is that if you look at everybody as like being bad people because they belong to this group or that group, you missing the whole point. Some of these people from the whatever church, mosque, or group, temple you may have been raised in, some people have had really good experiences growing up. Even if you saw it through the lens of a child, it's something you can take with you. You can take good memories with you, even if you leave it behind. Just like some of those same people can speak highly of you as a child. You weren't a problem. You weren't a troublemaker growing up. Whatever, you were a good kid, right? But some people have had horrific experiences in these places. But every time you can point back to somebody who was trying to make you or your child look like y'all was the one that was hell on wheels, it points right back to whoever you left, and they felt like, oh, we're gonna end them. Vindictive. So fly above those crows. 28. I'm a leader, right? In an effort to accomplish great things, you recognize the value of working with others, and you make a capable and compassionate leader who can bring people together and drive a team toward achievement. These energies try to make it seem like you got an issue with religion or you got an issue with church. I'm telling y'all, a lot of people don't have an issue with religion or church at all, or mosque or a temple. They don't. It's certain energies that try to hide behind stuff that's so vindictive and cruel and so evil. That's the only name you can assign to it. It's no psychological name you can assign to it. It's just pure evil. Why can't people just let people just leave and live their life? Why you got to dump more problems on people's backs and their kids, make it worse? So, a time to give rather than a time to take. Somebody has a moon in Virgo. Yeah, when the moon moves to Virgo, that reminds you that you do not like to be attached to other people's drama at all. Yeah. These energies will create anything, lie, create anything. You can tell them all day long, hey, just create anything. They'll gather together for some drama. Whoever these energies are will gather together for some drama. So I'm sending y'all a lot of love and light, whoever this reading is for here, because whenever I see the death card and this, somebody likes to play games with people's families. This energy right here, see this pawn right here, and then got the nerve to have a cross on the top of it. I'm telling y'all that's not everybody. I'm telling y'all that's not everybody. Even though people demonize tarot, I refuse to demonize churches, mosques, and temples because that was not my childhood experience. But I also sympathize with people who had horrible experiences. I sympathize with those people. I mean, it's like you can't be insensitive to that. You can't be like, oh well, that wasn't my experience. No, you gotta be sensitive to people who've had, bad experiences. And at least say a prayer. But work through your fears. Moon and Scorpio. Some of these energies feel like I said, we started out with a Six of Cups, which is Scorpio's card. Some of these energies, for them, is to death do you part by any means necessary, even if you have to be on the receiving end of a death. This Saturn return here lets me know that somebody copied a lot of your information. Could have been your driver's license, your personal identifiable information, your PII, your personal identifiable information. They copied a lot of your information to make you stay connected to them by any means necessary. Don't want to help you, will dump more problems and create issues for you and your kids, or you and your sibling or whoever, will create more problems behind your back, taking you to court, running you in and ripping and running outside of a courtroom, getting on a judge's last nerve, getting on their reserve nerve with some craziness, but won't help you with anything. Want to take full credit if something mirrors some kind of success or something like that. Oh, they making money. They the first to do this. Oh, well, we took all the credit. They couldn't take credit. Listen, unless unless you was raised in whoever's church, mosque, or temple, first of all, they wouldn't be the ones that's causing you all these issues and problems unless they was contaminated by these energies lying on you, saying that your kids or your spouse caused all these issues and problems. But it's probably because they somehow linked up or connected with. Here's a Five of Wands here. They love baiting and switching people into mess and then talking about people behind their back. Y'all, I hope y'all never belong to any kind of organizations like that. For real. Listen, anybody who still acts like a teenager, can't sit next to me, kind of mean girl, mean guy kind of spirit. Nope. You'll be celebrating something soon. A new job, homecoming, somebody could be getting married. You'll be celebrating. You got some good news coming in. Don't carry that baggage across that threshold in terms of like your in terms of this 7-Eleven portal closing, right? And you being fully illuminated about some stuff. Something you already feel fulfilled. You're a light high priestess. You're not trying to stop anybody from joining a church or organization, a temple or whatever. It don't matter what people are saying on social media. People can join what they want to join. But if people are joining stuff where people are causing problems for people just to look like they're trying to help somebody out, they don't know you. They don't know your experience. All they know is what they heard or what they created. Oh, and for some of you all, the same ones that created something, their family members created something for them. They'll get it. They'll catch this silent. They won't even see that coming because this is a silent tower moment. Their family and friends created something for them. They've been getting away with stuff so long, they're not gonna see this one coming though. And you don't have nothing to do with it. Why? Because you've already moved on. Here's the answers you seek are coming. Some of their family members and friends been sick of them a long time ago. Been sick of them. Some of them don't even realize that some of their own family members told you to leave and told you exactly why to leave a situation. So one yes from God is all you need. One red flag, pray and meditate. First red flag, pray and meditate. Time to ground yourself. Dance around your home as if no one is watching. But you ain't going back. Hell no. Hell to the no, no, no. Ask source for clarity. Always bet on you. It's time to start dating again. At what age did your parents work on their shadow self? At what age did you work on your shadow self? Yep. You deserve the best. Yeah, somebody's ex sure did call the police on your if you have kids, they sure did do that to get them kicked out of the house and swear up and down it was a nightmare. Anything to be the front and center stage or something. Y'all, whoever, yeah, So yeah, make sure you're near some water. Yeah, here we have the Four of Wands here. Like I said, you and somebody celebrating something. Yeah, y'all gonna be taking a trip flying somewhere. You and somebody gonna be taking a trip flying somewhere. So congratulations to you all, but don't ever go back, especially if you've had some good memories from your childhood. Don't ever go back to energies who abusive energies. I don't care what environment it was in. Don't even carry that on your back. Don't even feel like that's your responsibility to carry other people who may have stayed in abusive situations. Just because they stayed, you're not judging them. They stayed for whatever reason they want to stay in them. But you, you can pray for people, but get gone. Here's the Three of Cups. That is not love at all. That is not love at all. Let them sit around and talk about, whatever they talking about. Y'all inspired by different things. So here we go. Three of Coins here. I see you in a leadership position. Congratulations to you. So you're in a leadership position. Something about you kind of sort of getting back to something that you were working on in the past, and it may be coming back to your memory again. Something could be something that you kind of getting back to, something that you've been saying that you wanted to do. And there are going to be some people that's going to help you. I'm telling y'all, there's some people that's going to help you because some people have been talking. Some people have been talking like, what y'all claiming this person is mentally incompetent. That's what they were saying. This person is this and that and so on and so forth. And this person, but hold on, let's take a look at your records. Let's go look at your let's go look at your financial records. Let's see how you making money. Yeah, let's go look at how many times you've been married. Let's see how many kids you have and who are the baby moms and baby dads. Like, let's go look at you. Okay, let's go take a peek. Let's go grab the flashlight and go look at your stuff. Oh, well, looky here. Child, we better stop talking about people. Okay? You don't need to be at an impasse at all. You need to take them blindfolds off and tell your ancestors thank you. Thank you, ancestors. And wake up from these nightmares. Tell your ancestors thank you. Send hugs and kisses to your parents out in the universe, wherever they may be. If they're alive or not alive, send thank yous to them, to all the teachers and stuff that played a role, the priests, the rabbis, the pastors, the whoever that was it made some impact in your life, the teacher, whoever, everybody who was high vibrational in your life that made some kind of a positive impact in your life. That's what the memories you taking with you. The rest of them who intended on meaning you harm, Genesis 50:20. What the enemy meant for evil, God turned it around for your good. Let people talk. Child, you're not giving that no air. None. Let that thing have a backdraft. Don't have nothing to do with you. Nothing. These energies stay obsessed. They'll find somebody else to be obsessed with. Because you're not giving them any air whatsoever. 17, I am independent. The quality of work you can produce when you're going at it alone is almost unbelievable. You are as independent as you are ambitious, capable of performing every step of the way with efficiency, focus, and skill. I am independent. Yeah. Yeah, you're not getting looped in with certain people. There's some people right now that's like, oh my God, we didn't know. We wish we had known. How come they didn't open up their freaking mouth and ask? Why didn't they ask you? That wouldn't have taken but 5 seconds. Oh, I heard such and such. Okay, you did what you heard. Okay, you heard. All right. What did you hear? So you can clear it up. Well, I heard so and so legally. I heard you was married. You could have cleared up in 5 seconds. Who you hear that from? If you was married, if you're not married, you would have been like, no. You could have produced a divorce decree right then and there if somebody had just opened their mouth and asked you, or if you didn't have it, you could have gotten it. Or somebody had made up something like, are you in some kind of sex trade or sex work or whatever? Somebody said you was flying around and you was, doing X, Y, and Z. No, you could have showed them stubs and stuff like that, whatever kind of work you did. No, this is the kind of work I do. Who said that? Something like that. Things could have been cleared up if they had just asked. Some people choose to believe a lie. So anyway, the answers you need are coming. Somebody got a moon in Gemini. You don't have time for all of that. These are energies when you leave, they just create stuff to try to burn people's whole reputation down. They don't want you to go. They don't want you to get to your north node. You or your family to get to your north node. Intention without surrender can be a fast path to delusion. So keep your vibrations high. Yeah, but like I said, that first moon, like I said, when the moon is in Gemini, for those of you all, when the moon is in Virgo, that's the time of the year when the whirlwind of activities is over. That's when you're ready to slow down and focus. You want to go slower and with intention, carefully sifting through your to-do list, dividing the task into what has to be completed and what needs to be replanted or nurtured. Some of you all may start taking up some, see this person right here, gardening. Some of you all may be taking up gardening. That's could be a new and exuberant love for you. Right? It's not always a person, but some people had to be, like obsessively following you around, to see, okay, who's the new love, who's the this and who's the that. If they go talk to their familiar spirits, the familiar spirits would have told them, they don't have anybody. Like they planting plants and woo-sawing and praying and meditating. They've been following you around. Yeah, nobody have time for that. Yeah. So yeah, when the moon is in Virgo, it just lights up our focus to detail and the ability to analyze the pros and cons with a practical and objective eye, but it just means to deliberately, um, get away from the drama. That's deliberately to get away from the drama. That's what you did. You people who just create stuff just to, just child just be creating stuff just to create stuff. So always bet on you. And it's time for you somebody to start dating again. So congratulations. If you start dating again, I hope, I'm for real. And I'm sending y'all the highest, most positive energy. I really hope that you find somebody, whoever you are. And this is all in all sincerity. I really hope that you find somebody that really puts a sparkle back in your eye, a pep in your step, somebody who you feel like um, makes you feel as good as all your village made you feel, like pours into you in that way, where it feels like a new and exuberant love. The first time you learn to like a subject that other people don't like. Let's say you love math, right? But you had a math teacher that loved doing what she or he did, and they taught it in a way that they were so passionate about their job, it actually made you love math or reading, or whatever it was that you love to do it, or cooking, or maybe it was your parents that like to cook, or maybe you like to bake because you had grandparents that like to bake, or maybe whoever you were influenced by growing up. Hopefully somebody you meet continue, every time you have a rebirth, you continue to have that same feeling with that energy, is my whole point. But you deserve the best, not just better. You deserve the best, because that's what you put into it. But you're not going back to no, I can't see it. And I'm looking at the cards, child. I cannot see it. Not with these two eyes. Even if I put on trifocals, I couldn't see it. Nope. No, no, and no. So yeah, you get back to doing something, because whoever this energy is, you gave these energies your best. You gave them your best, whatever phase of life that you were in at the time. And these energies chose to be mean spirited towards you. So mm-mm. So continue being extraordinary. Continue being extraordinary. Continue raising your frequency. You are a leader. And so 2 and 8 is 10. That's a wrap. That's a wrap. That is what I have for you all. Hopefully this is helpful. Yeah. So yeah, yeah, some people were caught in a lie. They were caught in some kind of a sting, you know. They were caught in some kind of lie. Some conversations were recorded. Some people were sitting around. Some people were recording some conversations of some people talking something about ending you and somebody else, right? In some creative way, they were going to try to create something else. And again, it's going to go right back to some kind of organization that's going to lead you right back to whoever you may have had kids with. If you have kids or created a business or something, it's going to lead you right back to that. I'm telling you, it's going to lead you right back to that. They were communicating. They were communicating their feelings about something. So yeah, this is not back in the day where you just put a big red X over somebody's picture in a yearbook. No, you need to go ahead and just cancel that. The whole situation needs to be gone. Nope. So when the moon is in Gemini, this is where, like, Gemini is a changeable creature. We're not talking about a Gemini. We're not talking about a Scorpio. We're not talking about a Virgo. But when the moon is in Gemini, Gemini is a changeable creature, the social butterfly, the time traveler. This is where you need to just jump into the next timeline. The next timeline, time traveler, the one with the portfolio career. He diversifies your story and wants you to live many lives in one lifetime, gaining experience by learning, connecting, communicating, and diving into a variety of projects. If you feel stuck in a rut, the energy is your best ally to push you to try something else, to choose a new path. And Gemini's change is not incremental but radical, right? And so this is a portal the universe gave us for flipping the switch and changing our life in an instant. So your life is changing in an instant. Something you're doing, these energies try to ruin you because you're trying to create a life. You're trying to use your creativity to create a life that is going to actually break some kind of generational cycle chain and curse, where you're the first one to do something. And that's an assignment that Source gave to you, just like Source is giving them an assignment. Source is saying to you, yeah, somebody's doing the same thing to them. If they did it to your kids, somebody's doing the same thing to their kids, or going to do the same thing to their kids. And that's what you do. You wouldn't wish that on anybody. You wouldn't wish it on anybody. That is what I have for you all. Hopefully this has been helpful. I will see you all in the next video. Thank you for joining me. But yeah, you're not going back to being confused about any of this. It is not your burden to carry. Something has been, a lot of things have been burdensome in everybody's family. And when Source gives you a particular assignment to carry, that is your only assignment to carry. Whatever Source tells you to carry, all that other stuff, people are going to have to figure out what deal they made with whomever, whatever entity they made a deal with, and they're gonna have to break those contracts. So that's what I have for you. See you in the next video. Bye.